I haven't talked about visual novels in a while. Let's fix that. It's been around 2 years since I last talked about a bunch of visual novels, and I'm here to talk about them again! I genuinely do enjoy talking about these. I just find the genre itself to be really intriguing, even forcing my friends to partake in some with me. But that's not what we're talking about today. Some are new, some are revisited, and some made me cry, but let's start small first. What in the Federal Agent is this? Tax Heaven 3000 is a jokey game where you settle into a new town and bump into this girl who's really adamant about knowing you. This is Iris, and on initial introduction, you both get to learn more about each other. Or rather, she gets to learn a little bit more about you. She asks some pretty normal innocuous questions like, what's your birthday? What's your phone number? What's your annual income salary? You know, stuff like that. Most dates you have with Iris will make her continually ask you more personal questions relating to taxes. And since I'm not really willing to dox myself, I just decided to put whatever I thought was funny at the time.
What was your total tax income in 2022?
$3.
What is your W-2 form?
I don't know what that is, but here's my D&D character sheet.
What is your address?
I don't know. These are too hard. Can we do something else? Here's the kicker, though. When you finish, it actually gifts you your tax return that you can send to your state's IRS. Probably. I don't know. I've never paid these things before. Now, how is it as a visual novel? It's serviceable, but I do have my issues with it. The music is repetitive and gets annoying over time since you hear the same one track for nearly the entire runtime, and the game feels like it's going a million miles a second. But as for the upsides, the idea of a visual novel being a glorified tax writer is admittedly funny as hell. And I like how locations and characters are just puns, like Cafe Deductions or Iris literally just being a pun on the IRS. And also, I lied about the money I made in-game and made over $500 sextillion. 6 out of 10. Oh my god, this game opening has Vocaloid. Hi, Miku! Pockedate is a game where you go on these short little dates with this cute girl named Akari. She's a little shy, but she's super sweet, romantic, and is willing to forgive you for anything. As you go on these dates, you'll notice this little mood bar on the left here, where saying stuff she'd like increases it, while stuff that she wouldn't like decreases it. There aren't many dates to go on, but it's more so about the memories you spend with her, and I kinda like that. Now, what if I told you that everything I said was a lie? Pockedate is a psychological horror game disguised as a cutesy, wholesome visual novel, similar to games like DDLC or Needy Streamer Overload. The game's actually about a nameless protagonist stuck in a simulation, repeating the same dates over and over again, eventually driving them into insanity. Your main goal is to break out of this illusion and get out of here, which is kinda tricky. While playing the game, I found it nice to see that the two characters present are two sides of the same coin. The protagonist is someone who wishes to escape as soon as possible, whereas Akari finds comfort in this new reality and goes the extra mile to make sure the protagonist can't escape either. Hell, there's a question where she literally asks you what you would do if you were stuck in a simulation, and she clearly seems to subscribe to the idea. I also love the stupid quick fourth wall breaking in this game, because Akari says it so nonchalantly and it's brushed off like she said a normal thing. Like how the game just kinda abruptly pointed out how my friend was playing Stardew Valley, and also it made times where it wasn't brushed off as normal kind of freaky. Like when she told me to look behind me, but then this glitchy ass picture of Akari started sliding across my desktop. And it made me jump initially because, like, what the hell? My favorite part though is at the end of the game. If you completely destroy Akari's illusion of reality, she'll manifest a shadow, which is the embodiment of all memories discarded by the protagonist. And then, unexpectedly, you go against her shadow in a sort of boss fight, very similar to something like Undertale. You're extremely weak, and attacks get progressively more difficult to dodge, so you'll die. Quite a bit. But with each death, your damage doubles, and you get stronger and stronger to the point where you can easily overpower it. It's really fun. Also, this fight has kick-ass music, I love it. So if it wasn't obvious, I really like this game. It's a neat and kind of unique take on horror that I haven't seen before. And it's all complemented with the pixel art, the music, the sound design, and all of that stuff. 10 out of 10. Hey, didn't you talk about this game already? Now then, I've been aching to get this off of my chest for a while now, and I'm so glad that I can finally say that this is genuinely one of the worst games I've ever played. I was way too generous on this game and it's now discontinued other version? I still don't know what you'd call this. Moe Ninja Girl stars a protagonist named Kazuki Araya, or Dumb Beach as I called him, a former ninja who simply wants to sit down, chill, and start a new life as a normal high school student. During his first few days, he makes fast friends, makes rivals, and has a moderate time. One of his friends pitches the idea of a ninja-seeking club where they do exactly as the name implies. The student council president obviously scoffs at the idea until the very end during a cry session, where she obviously changes her mind. The characters are interesting. The ones from season 1 at least. Akari is the bubbly airhead who's always happy. She's pretty eccentric and usually looks on the bright side of things. Enju is the uptight student council president who's a tsundere. I don't like her. Rika is a stoic girl who's also a ninja. I actually like her, from what I've seen at least. Miyu is the quiet, shy one who loves animals. She also has a talking, floating rabbit named Fu. I don't know why I said that, Miyu's alright. Tenge is the mature one who speaks sexually and likes to tease Kazuki, and it kinda freaks me out. Yamabuki is an artist who loves BL and cosplay. I like her character design a lot, but aside from that, I don't care much about her. And then there's John, a foreign exchange student who came to Japan because he likes anime and manga. With that description, he kinda sounds like a loser, and he is, but I like him. He's kind of just a bro, and I kind of like that about him. But it's really disheartening that almost every scene he's in has to be the butt of the joke. And the characters, specifically Kazuki, just hate his ass for no reason. This is seemingly a fish out of water story. A kid from a different place moves to a new area with new customs and norms. But it's actually a slice of life, at least for the first season. Which, normally, I wouldn't care, but I genuinely feel kinda gross when I play this. The characters are sexualized pretty often, which is concerning considering that they're high schoolers. And this isn't even mentioning the ninja attire. On a somewhat related note, Kazuki shouldn't be within 50 meters of any woman. He's a creepy perv who has the worst inner monologues ever, often pointing out how he wants to peep on the girls when their cleavage is showing, or other stuff that makes me feel kinda sick. I don't like this pervy ass. I think he... I hate this guy. He's genuinely awful, and every time he does something perverted, I have to roll my eyes. I hate him. The characters aren't much better either. A lot of them could just be boiled down to one trope, like stupid, tsundere, shy, older sister, lolicon. One of the characters I had some interest in was Rika. She's a ninja who transferred a little bit after Kazuki did with the intent of killing him for leaving his old life. He convinces her to calm down and even talks about why he left in the first place. It's some genuinely intriguing stuff. Not mind-blowing or anything, but it had me interested. Only to be brought back to the reality that I was playing Moe Ninja Girls. Now, I haven't even talked about this game's biggest issue. It's greed. So, each chapter of a season is spliced into 8 to 10 different parts. Every single part costs one of this currency called the story ticket, and there are a handful of ways you can get them. You can wait for them to be given to you every 2 hours, holding up to a maximum of 5, get them seemingly at random in your inbox, or by spending money, whether fake or not. Hell, some of these parts are short, seemingly on purpose to waste more of your resources, and could have been easily combined with other ones. It also gets worse. Every chapter will have a roadblock which will make you spend other stupid currencies for an unrelated side mode that I don't even care about. Because of this, I had to be stopped at the very end of Season 1 because I lacked funds and didn't want to spend money on the game. So I don't have any money. I hate this game. I only know of the extra characters and how they react because years ago I played the RPG version of this game where the original cast is rearranged, and that one was also just as bad. Rest in peace though. The music is fine, and that's my only plus side. 1 out of 10. I would never cry to a visual novel, let's be honest. I'm being so serious when I say this. Katawa Shoujo is genuinely one of the best games I've ever played, let alone the best visual novel I've ever played. I was so moved by the story, the characters, the music, the art, literally everything. It's so good. Hisao Nakai is a student that's suddenly hospitalized after suffering a heart attack during a girl confessing her love to him. He's been diagnosed with severe arrhythmia, a heart condition where it beats him properly, and it's been taking a toll on him for the past few months. Eventually, his doctor and parents agree to have him transferred to a new school, Yamaku Academy, where students with disabilities go. Arriving there, Hisao gets adjusted to his class and makes fast friends with a bunch of characters. There's Shizune, the student council president that's both deaf and mute. I love how exaggerated her portraits are to seemingly compensate for this. Despite the serious exterior, she's actually really snarky and funny a lot of the time, and it's really charming. She's also accompanied by her best friend and sign language translator, Misha, who is more bubbly and outgoing compared to her. Emmy is an energetic girl who has no legs. Despite this though, she has a serious passion for running and is really good at it. Rin is Emmy's stoic friend who has no arms but is an artist. She's a funny one. Her non-reaction to things definitely gets a chuckle out of me, me, and her weirdly deep philosophy talks are kinda intriguing. Hanako is a very reclusive, shy girl who loves to read. She has scars on the right side of her body which cause people to bully and ostracize her. She's genuinely really sweet though and is one of my favorites. And finally, there's Lily, who's Hanako's best friend and confidant. She's blind since birth, but regardless of this, she's the most motherly and caring out of all the characters. She's genuinely my favorite. I love her so much. There's also Kenji, who's blind both legally and metaphorically. He's a misogynistic loser, but seeing him go on these crackhead rants is like watching a car accident in slow motion. The game is separated into acts. You start off on Act 1, which is like a prologue, and depending on what you say, you get to hang out and see all the other girls' acts. Each girl has 3 acts, and hanging out with one locks you out of any other ones. I really like these acts. Seeing how all these girls live their lives and deal with their disabilities to an extent just makes me want to give them all a hug. Especially Hanako. Girlie needs one. My absolute favorite line from the game is in Lily's route when she says, "Have I ever apologized for my blindness even once? You can't help the way you were born, Hisao. There's no point in apologizing for who you are." And that line always stuck with me because it rings true for these routes. These girls may have some sort of disability, but they're still people at the end of the day. They live their lives as ordinarily as anyone else does, and being born with something they can't control doesn't change that. Some even embrace it or find workarounds to it. I went through Emmy's route first, which was really great, but I thought I was going to be done with the game after that, when no. I stuck through to see all the routes, and by the end of the game, I was looking at the credits with tears rolling down my face. There's this one thing I said after I finished the game and the credits stopped rolling, and I think it's a wonderful lesson to learn from this game. Just remember that regardless of anyone's disabilities or anything, that they're still people, and it's something that you hear and you accept, but you have to like actualize it. I think that the game just perfectly describes that all these characters are people and not stereotypes, nor are they defined by their disabilities. And something about that is beautiful. Katawa Shoujo is about many things. It's about love, it's about finding hope in life, it's about promises, it's about the bonds you share with your friends. And as someone who has disabilities themselves, albeit not as severe as the ones in this game, it really resonated with me. I'll give it an 11 out of 10. It's something I think everyone should play.